Hello everybody, and welcome to our Tech Tuesday tutorial number 16. Today we're going into Google Contacts and how do you access them, manage them, and how do you set up groups. Gmail Contacts is part of Gmail, but a lot of people don't really know where it is. The big problem is that it used to be listed over on the left hand side in your Gmail, but it is now kind of tucked away into this little menu. So right above the Compose button, you'll see something that says Mail, and if you pull that down, you'll see the contacts in there. You can also get the contacts by going to google.com/contacts. So once you're there, you'll see that you've got your contacts listed over My Contacts over on the left-hand side, as well as any groups that you may have set aside for them. And then you'll see circles. That's a Google Plus thing that's going to be going away. You'll also notice that there's a 20 most contacted individuals here, as well as other contacts. Other contacts are people that you've had contact with, but aren't actually saved into your My Contacts area. So they're not really registered as part of your contacts. They're just available there as kind of a history that you've had. And then if you're part of a Google Apps for Education, you'll see a directory where you can then go into and browse people within that. So a couple things here you need to know about your contacts. First of all, you can add new contacts just by clicking on the plus add contacts thing over there. Now it's going to ask you for something there, and you might be a little thrown off with that because it doesn't really give you any kind of fields to fill out. You can then just go in there and search for people. Let's say I want to add Cassidy to this. She's one of our workers. Then you can go in there and just search for that and then select them. This only happens if you're part of a directory and you've actually got this information, as part of your Google Apps for Education. The other thing you can do is you can just go in there and create a new contact with a big button there, right? So this adds a new contact. This goes here and it adds them to the section that you've got highlighted if you use this icon at the top. So you can use this to your advantage by going to a group and say, okay, I'd like to add one in here. Let's say Daffy Duck. This one is not in the directory. It's a joke one, but it also pulls from my contacts there as well. And you can then just add people that way. You can also paste a list of emails and then add them all in mass that way too. So I could take a bunch of emails here and just add them to the IRC group immediately just by just copying and pasting into that. The other thing you can do is you can select certain people. So let's say I want to take Jane Doe and John Doe and add them to the IRC group. I can go and then come over here and use the other button and choose groups and say they're now part of the IRC group. The great thing about that is that if I want to compose an email and I go over here, let's say back to my email, I can click compose and then type IRC, and I have IRC group as one of my options here. And if I do that, it pre-populates all of them into the group. So it makes for mass emails a lot easier, the emails to the same group of people easier and all that. It's important to note that this is not the same as Google Groups, which is an entirely different service from Google that lets you set up listservs and forums and stuff. This is an email group. I really wish they wouldn't call them groups. I wish they'd call them something else, but they're still called groups. And so this is not the same. This is just for you, personally, for you, and not a collaborative thing like Google Groups is. Okay, the last thing I kind of want to mention was import and export. So let's say you have a list of contacts and you'd like to export these contacts. You can come in here and select them, or even an entire group here, and select them and export. So I could go in here and choose export. And what's great is that you can either do the selected ones you've already gotten, like if you select them ahead of time and choose export, it'll have an option for you to do the selected contacts. But if you forget, that's okay. You can just go in here and say export at any time and then tell it, I want it to be this particular group or all my contacts or the selected contacts. So I can say, let's take this IRC group and let's export it to a Google comma separated value format. And then you just choose export and it's going to download it. And now you've got a CSV you can email to someone else. Then they can come in here and choose import contacts, choose the CSV file and import the contacts. So if you've got 50 people or something like that you need to share with someone else, just export the contacts, then they bring it in and import it, and that's it too. Okay, well that was short and sweet. Hope you guys found that useful. Again, to access contacts, go to google.com/contacts or go into your email, click the mail button and go to contacts. Thank you very much. If you like that video, please hit the like button, please hit the subscribe button to keep up to date with us, and share this with your friends, and I'll see you guys next week. Bye-bye.